Welcome back to the Draft 704 podcast. You are here with your host, Samad Sinclair. And once again, you guys know we got the one and only Andrew Marinelli. You know what I'm saying?
Hello. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Dude, so I know you've seen everything that Kai's got going on with with his mafia-thon.
Oh, it's all over my TikTok feed. It's all over my feeds, all over the place. I mean, it's like every celebrity imaginable you could think was going to be on there, which I'm not surprised. I mean, he's so popular now. I think celebrities are getting like they're getting endorsements or they're getting money just from being on there, just from selling their products or whatever they got on their Instagrams. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy. He's had who did he have? I know he had Sexy
So
Red.
Sexy Red. I mean,
Who else?
off the top of my head, I've got Kevin Hart, Drewski. I mean, the Office drummer. I don't even know who that is, but I found out who he is through Kai. We
Yeah.
had. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know everybody, but I've
He
seen.
had Chris
He had
Brown
Chris Brown, SZA, um,
and Lizzo.
so, and Lizzo at the same time. Yeah. So, I mean, that's a stacked cast. That's like a cast of
Yeah.
characters right there.
No, it
And I
really
am
is.
not. I'm not surprised. I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, if you had the opportunity, you just jump on there just to get a moment of 15 seconds in the spotlight. But I mean, what really it matters most to these celebrities is to have like a nice, chill, relaxing time there. And really, what has scared a lot of like women from being on there is the chat. The chat is just screaming at them constantly, saying the worst things to them. And I guess for an example, SZA wasn't going to come on unless they could control that in some way. And they started live streaming and showing what they had blocked in chat for when SZA was going to be on through that certain amount of time. And, it's all the worst words that anyone would probably say about SZA or about Lizzo. But
Oh
it,
yeah.
it just goes to show what Kai is doing to let these people be more comfortable and be in this space, be in his space, and invite them into their world, into his world.
Yeah, chat could get really out of hand. I've seen chat
Oh
on
yeah.
there literally say some things that it would be I don't know, they get rude. They get rude.
Oh, they get terrible. Yeah, and I think Twitch in general has some sort of a little bit of toxic in the chat usually, but the way to combat it would be these mods that the behind the scenes of Kai Cenat streams are the most interesting thing I've ever seen, and I've only seen one little glimpse of it with this certain time that the mod was showing like what they were gonna block for SZA's stream. But the I already know that I think like just one room over, there's like multiple monitors. There's every camera setup you could have, just waiting to be switched to. Like it looks like the behind the scenes of ESPN or the behind the scenes of like NFL games where they have like a million cameras in that room that Kai like sleeps and stays in, and they just switch from camera to camera, or they'll have the handheld every once in a while and stuff like that. But it is so weird and so cool to see that like the top streamer has like a team behind him. So I mean,
Yeah.
it does go
It
yeah, it goes to show the success of it, but
Yeah, cuz it would be super easy to just sit there by himself in his room, you know what I'm saying? And especially with the kind of money he makes from it, like it's cool to see that he's actually investing a lot of that money back into the stream because like production alone, like that's a lot to like not to mention that he has this entire mansion, but he has 24-hour production,
oof.
security, like all these things to ensure that it goes well. And it's also interesting because you know how people always get swatted. So I'm like, I wonder
Mhm,
what he has to do to ensure that he's not getting swatted. Like, is he
mhm.
like calling the police department and being like, "Yo, guys, I'm gonna be live. This, you know, because like this isn't something that has really been happening before. This is like we're
Mhm.
literally living in the day and age of live video changing everything. I mean, even Donald Trump went on Aiden Ross's live.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and same thing with like, we're talking about celebrities in general. They're going to be getting on any like type of media that is doing those live streams. And I think that it really has to do a lot about having access to people. And for Kai, and that was what makes these subathons so successful, is that at any given moment for a month, he is accessible to his fans, to the people that are even just curious about him. And so then having that to show and be like, hey, we can check in on Kai Cenat this very moment. I think that is kind of a big pivotal thing that's going on in just general viewing audiences, is that people really want to hop in on a current live stream that's going on and see what's going on. See, especially I think the most successful Twitch streamers like I don't know, Hassan and QC, just these people that are streaming every single day and really showing like their day-to-day life, or at least showing like that type of passion, and to have a schedule and to do it every single day, like treat it like a 9 to 5.
Yeah. Have you watched any of these lives like in person, or are you more of like a like personally, I catch the stream clips, I catch like the TikToks,
Mm.
but I haven't personally watched a lot of it live.
Me either. No, same thing. I've literally, and I'm sure that's how majority of people are seeing these streams now, is that they're really just seeing clips of it, which is fine because you're getting the most important thing that happened during that stream. I think I did jump on during the Kai thing because of how exciting it was going, like what was happening.
Mhm.
And I swear I hopped in at the worst time. It was him like sleeping or something like that.
Yeah.
And like I think somebody was making him breakfast. I think I got hopped in the morning, and like I was like, oh, all right, well, this is why I've seen it only in clips, because usually I think like the most important things are happening on at night, and I think older people have things going on at night, but like a younger
Yeah.
audience would probably just get home from school and then put the stream on.
Yeah, I heard I don't know, but I think he has like 40, 50,000 people sometimes watching or some crazy
Yeah.
numbers like that, where it's cool though. Like it's interesting because even videos like this, right? Like we're recording and we're not streaming it live. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like I wonder what that's like to be live for 8 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Oof.
But
I don't
I
know.
think that has completely changed the way of content. I personally think that live videos, especially IRL lives of like killed vlogging or just changed it forever. Reason being, like now when I see a lot of these YouTubers who are doing really well, their videos are so under edited. You know what I'm saying? But I think
Mm.
it's because these lives are training people to have that kind of attention span to just watch something happening for a long time, which is so interesting because it's like the complete opposite of what's been going on with short form content.
That's true. Yeah, and I think maybe it is like rejecting that. Oh, I have a long attention span and I can watch a 3-hour podcast. Like, I think that there are a lot of people that do have the attention span for that. And I wonder if if TikTok is reducing attention spans, what is there to say about streaming? I think that streaming is. I think the most successful people are the ones that have something going on every 30 seconds. So that might still be like the problem, but then again, I think what you said about not editing is kind of the biggest thing. I think that people like an unedited version of you, or an unedited version of you and your friends talking. Like, I think that's kind of where the sauce of live streaming is unedited, like completely raw, just how they are. And if they mess up, which are the clips that I see of, are people messing up and, possibly showing where they live or something like that. Like those are the moments that people watch for and waiting for like a big moment where, oh, he messes up, or oh, look at this big celebrity that just came in. Like it's very interesting. I would say that even probably the start of this whole streaming zeitgeist thing was like when Drake started playing Fortnite with freaking Ninja, and like in
Yeah.
that was kind of, that felt like the start of like celebrities being involved with these live streams. And ever since, now celebrities are streaming on their own, and Drake is streaming when he gambles and all these kind of things.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've even thought about doing more lives, IRL lives and things like that. But
Mm,
I'm like, I wonder if there's an aspect of danger within that because even now, right? Like the studio that I'm in, like we do shows here and stuff like that, like it's not a secret place and people can just kind of always know where you are or know where you aren't, you know? So
mm,
there's a lot of things to consider with it, but I also feel like live is just where everything's going, you know? Or
mm,
even I say this like live's where everything's going, but if you really think about it, maybe live is what everything's going back to. Cause like, you know,
mm,
you used to listen to the radio, you know what I'm saying? You know that this radio host is gonna be there every single morning at this time, you know what I'm saying? People probably catch them walking out of the building or something like that because
yeah,
you know where they are. But even
yeah.
like Kim Kardashian was talking about that. She was talking about how she used to post like her stories and stuff whenever she was out traveling. But then that whole situation happened to her in Paris where they were
Mm,
like, oh, this is where she's at. And then they like pulled up on her and stuff like that. So
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's super interesting.
It's really interesting. I think that I think what you're talking about is very, it's a really good point with how radio and live and these kind of things, that different types of content, that I think that we're in a new age of content where I think the unedited thing is really the bigger one. But like the dangers of it are definitely something to be worried about. And I would say that like any celebrity that is gonna be like you said, they're not in their house, which is like a big deal to know that a celebrity's not at their house, because you can kind of see where a celebrity lives sometimes, and that's scary, very scary about that. I would say that what Kai does to avoid those kinds of things, to keep it not as dangerous, is that the cameras don't really seem to leave that one room, his one streaming room. And so
Hmm.
having like a dedicated camera angle or a dedicated like room that you only film might be probably the best way. And that's what we've seen with every live stream, really. Now, the IRL streaming is a whole nother story. And that is something that it would be, everybody could do it and would love to do it. But I think the main thing that is the drawback is then people are going to see where you live. People can come to you, and they call it stream sniping. They can come to where you are, and that is probably the biggest deterrent for people wanting to do that. Though it makes scarcity on that type of content, which might be good in the long run. But yeah, that is I think that is the biggest challenges with streaming in general.
Yeah, I think, but it's like there's so many negatives, but there's also so many positives. So one
Hmm.
thing that I think is pretty interesting, so the when Obama first got into office, they said that that was the first time they saw a president really using social media and leveraging social media. And
Yeah.
then this time around, they called it the podcast election, you know what I'm saying? I think the
Yeah.
next thing that's gonna happen is, like, the live election, where, like, now people are going through their campaigns by getting on lives or maybe even having their own. Because like, if you
Yeah.
really think like, imagine Joe Rogan went live all the time, you know what I'm saying? Like, the
Mhm.
following he can garner. I think that'd probably be, like, one of the best options for, like, a political person, you know, a person who wants to get into the race or something and grow their
Mhm.
audience is to do that live, but that also seems not very safe, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-mm.
what if we start having presidents that are just streaming live? You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. No, and I think that it would prove, like, unfortunately, but fortunately, it would show that maybe a president doesn't even have a lot to do in the day, and so if they are streaming all day, maybe that's why they don't do that. But
yeah,
I would say that you're right, that I think we're going into a new format, of news media and of just media in general, where they're gonna wanna, like, be live streaming. I don't know, I'm sure that a congressperson is gonna start live streaming their whole day. Like, that's something that can connect you with people. They can have chat, they can probably have it very moderated, but it will be a chat and there will be people talking back and forth. And I would say that that would be very a really easy way for people to connect with their governor or with their president even. So, I mean, I don't know if it's the next I think it will still the next election will definitely still be podcasting slash streaming. I think it'll still be in that realm, but eventually we will have a president that live streams his day and we will
yeah,
see if that is even safe, but I'm sure it's something
yeah.
like that will happen eventually.
Yeah, definitely. Who knows, man?
Mm.
Because all these podcasts, it's like you might like
Yeah.
Kai pretty much just has a podcast. When he has these guests on, they're just not
Mhm.
limited to mics and stuff like that. But,
That's right.
only time will tell, man.
Only time will tell.
But hey, man,
That's
I
true.
appreciate you coming on today's episode. You know what I'm
Of
saying? Let the
course.
people know where they could find you, what socials you frequent.
I'm on Threads a lot recently, which is way more than I thought I was going to be. But same, it's my at right here. And Instagram, Threads, and that's it right now. I'm trying to get YouTube going, but that's fine. With those two right
Heck
now,
yeah.
I'm reach out to me, follow me, let me know what you thought about the podcast. I appreciate it.
Heck yeah, brother. All right. Peace out, man.
Peace.
You guys have it here, the Dropout 704 podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day.